In today's video, I'm going to show you the proper method how to easily model thin structures in Fusion 360, like this clip right here. But wait, stop! That's not gonna be another boring CAD tutorial video, because I'll show you how I annealed the PLA to make it better suitable for the outdoor use. Stay tuned, guten Tag, and welcome to CNC Kitchen. So we have some raspberries in the garden, which started growing quite a bit since spring finally arrived here in southern Germany. We set up some ropes which we want to use to stabilize the bushes, especially when it's raining. You can buy clips to do that, or maybe use some strings. But hey, come on, I own two 3D printers. So we'll design a clip in Fusion 360. The special thing about this design is that it's done differently than most of you would have probably done that. Since we want a thin part, we can work with the shell structures to create the shape and then later add a thickness to these shells to create a three-dimensional solid. Keep this technique in mind whenever you do something similar, because it can make things much easier. Let's start! So as always, we'll start with sketching the general shape of our part. In order to do that, we create a new sketch on the XY plane and use the circle tool in here to create a big circle with a diameter of 30 millimeters and a small circle with a diameter of 10 millimeters. On this side right here, the branch shall go, and on this side right here, the rope will go through. Okay, so we need to set the distance of this circle right here properly. So let's use the dimension tool and dimension the distance from this midpoint to this midpoint right here and set it to 15 millimeters. Or, well, maybe make it 20. Let's increase this right here a little bit, just that they overlap a little bit. Okay, so as you have seen right here, this part right here is fixed in horizontal direction, but not yet fixed in vertical directions. I will fix that with a construction line, which I create, and a construction line is just like a normal line, but the property is set to construction so that it's not really affecting the sketch itself. I use a coincident constraint to constrain this point right here to lie on the construction line. Okay, perfect. So we need to trim this sketch right here a little bit, so I will use the trim command and trim this line right here, this line right here, this line right here, and this line right here. In order to get rid of these two sharp corners right here, I will be using the fillet tool. So I select it and then I can just simply click on this point right here and it will create a small arc, which is just rounding this bit a little bit more. So 2 millimeters is fine. On the other side, we will be doing the same, 2 millimeters as well. And we already have the general shape of our part. So if we are in the normal modeling environment, if we are using the pull command, we will create a three-dimensional body, but that's actually what we don't want to have. So I will be working with a thin structure, and thin structures or shell structures are not created in the modeling environment, but in the patch environment. So I'll change to the patch environment. In here we more or less have the same operations available. So there's also extrude, revolve, sweep, and all of the other stuff. But what we want to do is we want to use the extrude command. So I use the extrude command, and what you can already see, I'm not creating a three-dimensional body, I'm just creating the shell structure. I also dimension it to be 8 millimeters high and hit enter, and this is what we have. So right now this is a more or less infinitely thin surface, but we can use commands to make it thicker, so that we can 3D print it, because right now it would not be 3D printable. Okay, so I will now go back to the model environment. Okay, in here we can create a three-dimensional part out of our two-dimensional surface. So we go and create and say thicken. So with the thickening command, we select just the outer surface and we can make the part thicker. And this is really cool because it saves us using an offset line to create the three-dimensional part. And we have a consistent wall thickness all around the part, and that's really cool. So for the thickness, I use a multiple of my extrusion width so that I get a nicely closed outer line of that part. If you don't know already, you can actually use mathematical commands in here. So I want to have 3 lines going around the circumference of the part. So I can just enter in there 3 times 0.48 millimeters, because my extrusion width, which I'm setting in Slicer, is 1.2 times the nozzle diameter, so 1.48 millimeters. I hit enter and here we go. So this is more or less already the final part. The only thing which we still need to do, I need to create a small slit right here that we can open it to, well, insert it, insert the rope and also insert the branch later on. So in order to do that, I use the normal 3D sketching commands. So I create a new sketch on the XY plane and I just roughly sketch one rectangle right here. So the gap can be quite small, so I only use 0.5 millimeters. So I stop the sketch again. I use the press pull tool and just extrude this sketch that we have a slit in our part. And there we go. That's our final part. Cool. So I just go into bodies, select our three-dimensional body, right click on it, say save as STL, and we can use it for printing. So as I have already mentioned in the beginning, I will be using PLA for this print. The problem is that the temperatures can get quite high in the summer, and especially with direct sunlight, the clips might soften and fail. I could use PETG or ABS, but I want to show you how you can get the most out of the material which is most easy to print with. Polylactic acid, or also referred to as PLA. I printed the parts in world's cheapest white PLA on my old Mendel 90. I used this printer because it has a removable print surface. This has the advantage that you prevent warping if the parts are still fixed to the build platform. When you anneal PLA, the amorphous polymer structure partly crystallizes. The semi-crystalline structure needs less space, so the part shrinks and therefore almost always warps. I will go into this technique in more details in a future video, so subscribe to the channel if you don't want to miss that. I set my oven to 80 degrees Celsius and will cook it in there for an hour. I will leave the door closed so the parts cool down slowly after the annealing process is finished. The first goal of the temperature treatment is to make the PLA much more heat resistant, but it will also improve many other things like strength, stiffness and stability. Unfortunately, the treatment is not as easy as it might seem, since it leads to quite a lot of shrinking and warping and will screw up your tolerances. If you have experience and can compensate for the effects, it might give you quite an advantage over your standard 3D printed parts. So there we have it, another practical 3D print, and you might not only have learned a new feature in Fusion 360, but this was also a short introduction into heat treating PLA. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know down in the comments what you would have done differently. Please consider subscribing for more technical 3D printing videos. Thanks for watching, auf Wiedersehen, and I'll see you next time.